Class 9th. Today we are going to start with new chapter 2, Basic Features of the Constitution. Today's topic is Features of the Constitution. We will discuss the following points. So the objectives of today's topic are written and lengthy constitution, federal in structure and unitary in spirit, cabinet system or parliamentary form of government, a secular state, a sovereign democratic republic. Now we will discuss the following key terms. Number 1, Constituent Assembly. It is a body of elected representatives which is assembled for the purpose of drafting or adopting a constitution or similar document. Number 2, Imperialism. A policy of extending a country's power and influence through colonization. Number 3, Federal. A system of government in which several states form a unity but remain independent in internal affairs. Number 4, Unitary. A system of political organization in which most or all of the governing power resides in a centralized powers. Number 5, Executive. It is the branch of government exercising authority in and holding responsibility for the governance of a state. Number 6, Legislature, an organized body having the authority to make laws for a political unit. Number 7, Republic. It is a form of government in which a state is ruled by representatives of the citizen body. Constitution. Constitution means a system of laws and rules according to which the government of a country runs. It specifies people's rights and duties. The need of the Constitution. It generates a degree of trust and coordination necessary for different kind of people to live together. It specifies the composition, powers and functions of the government. It expresses the aspirations of the people about society and government. All the countries that are democratic have constitution. Now we will discuss the salient features of the constitution. Now come to the reading part, page number 15. The Constituent Assembly under the presidentship of Dr. Rajendra Prasad framed the Indian Constitution after a good deal of labor extending over about 3 years. It came into force on 26 January 1950 when India was declared a sovereign democratic republic with Dr. Rajendra Prasad as her first president. This constitution is remarkable for certain unique features of its own, which are as follows. Dr. Rajendra Prasad framed the Indian Constitution. It came into force on 26th January 1950. Our Constitution has established a democratic society providing justice to all, irrespective of their social or cultural background. It has many salient features, some of which we will discuss here. Number 1, written and lengthy Constitution. Like the Constitution of the United States of America, the Indian Constitution is a written one and is available in a book form. A written constitution is based on the laws enacted by a representative body of the people elected for this specific purpose. Both the Constitution of India and that of USA are written constitutions. On the other hand, an unwritten constitution basically comprises unwritten traditions, conventions and practices. The Constitution of England is the best example of an unwritten type of constitution. The Constitution of India is a quite lengthy document. It is perhaps the lengthiest and most voluminous constitution ever framed by any country in the world. The reasons for this are not far to seek. Written and lengthy constitution. Generally, constitution can be classified into two types, written and unwritten constitution. Most of the constitutions are written. The first modern written constitution is the American Constitution. On the other hand, the British Constitution is unwritten. In India, we have a written and detailed constitution. The constitution of India is quite lengthy. It is lengthiest and most voluminous constitution in the world. Number 1, our constitution makers tried to incorporate good points of all the constitutions of the world. The main reasons for making the Indian constitution lengthy is number 1, our constitution makers tried to include all the good points of all constitution of the world. They did not want to leave any good points of the constitutions. Number 2, ours is a vast country with diverse languages, customs, traditions, races, religions, etc. As such, justice was to be done to all of them and more provisions were written down. Number 2, India is a country of great diversity. It is a country of several minorities. It has many languages, castes, races, and religions. The problems and interests of these different groups have found a place in the constitution. Number 3, because of foreign imperialism, various problems, social, economic, religious, and political, cropped up which required immediate solution. As such, every effort was made to tackle the problems of unemployment, illiteracy, untouchability, casteism, regionalism, national unity, etc. These efforts added to the volume of our constitution. Number 3. The constitution framers did not want to leave things to chance because they were conscious of the socio-economic political problems being faced by the country in the post-independence period. All this has resulted in making the constitution a large. Number 4. Various types of governments, republican, parliamentary and the communist form of government were prevalent at that time in the world. Our constitution makers tried to make a synthesis of all these types. Naturally, such an attempt added to the volume of the constitution. There are various types of government in the world like republican, democracy, monarchy, oligarchy, parliamentary, etc. Our constitution makers tried to make a mixture of all these types. Number 5. The framers of this constitution tried to put in black and white everything about the three organs of the government, that is, executive, legislature and judiciary, about citizenship, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, relations between the center and its units, the public services, etc. Consequently, the Indian constitution has become the most voluminous constitution in the world. The framers of this constitution tried to each and everything in written form about the three organs of the government, citizenship, directive principles, etc. This made the constitution lengthy. Number 6. The amendments mean changes made from time to time in our constitution have also added to the volume of the constitution. Our constitution originally had 395 articles in 22 parts and 8 schedules. Now it has 448 articles and 12 schedules in 25 parts. All such additions also added to its volume. Our constitution originally had 395 articles, 22 parts and 8 schedules. Today the constitution has 465 articles, 25 parts and 12 schedules. All the amendments made from time to time in our constitution have also made it lengthy. Number 7. Last but not the least, as is pointed out by I. Jennings and Young, the constitution is long and complicated because the Government of India Act 1935, on which it was in large measure founded, was long and complicated. According to I. Jennings and Young, the Government of India Act 1935 was in operation when India got independence. Our leaders were familiar with this act. They borrowed heavily from this lengthy act while framing our constitution. Number 2. Federal in structure and unitary in spirit. The Indian constitution is federal in structure. In the words of Mr. G. N. Joshi, the Indian Union exhibits all the normal characteristics of a federation: a written constitution, a dual policy and distribution of powers between the national or central government and state government, and Supreme Court. Although the Indian constitution is federal in structure, it had made the central government so powerful that it has been pointed out that it has become almost unitary in essence. During emergency, the president can do away with any state government and assume all its powers. The governor of a state is appointed and dismissed by the president alone and not by any provincial government. Again, no province can withdraw from the federation and frame its own constitution. According to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the union is not strictly a federal polity but a quasi-federal, means intermediate form of government polity with some vital and important elements of unitariness. Federal in structure and unitary in spirit. India is a federation, although word federation does not find a place in the whole text of the Indian Constitution. The elements of federation are present in the Indian Constitution like dual polity, written and rigid constitution. But in Indian federation, the center is strong as compared to the states. Let us recount the main federal as well as unitary features of the Indian Constitution. The main federal features of the Indian Constitution are as follows. Number 1. There is a division of powers between the union or center on the one hand and the units or states on the other. Federal features of the Indian Constitution are as follows. Number 1. A division of powers between the center and the state. Secondly, the Indian Constitution is both written and rigid, means not to be changed. The division of powers between the center and the states has been put in black and white. The Indian Constitution is written and rigid. All the things are in written and detailed form. Number 3. An independent judiciary or the Supreme Court has been set up in India to settle disputes between the center and the states or between two or more states. Independent judiciary with the power to decide central state disputes over divisions of powers. Although the Indian Constitution is federal in form, it is unitary in spirit. In other words, we can say that in India, the center has been given an advantage over the states. Number 1, the Union list has not only more subjects 99 but almost all the important powers like defense, foreign affairs, currency, etc. are with the center. The center has been given an advantage over the states like number 1, the more important powers like defense, foreign affairs with the center. The central government has much greater finances under its control than the states. All this gives greater weightage to the center. The center has more financial powers and the state largely depend upon it for their economic development. The center has been given an edge even on subjects 47 in number mentioned in the concurrent list. Residuary powers in India, unlike the USA, have also been vested with the center to make it all the more powerful. Residuary powers are vested with the center following the Canadian pattern, and it makes the center more powerful. Lastly, the Indian Constitution has a set of emergency provisions by which the center can assume all the powers of the state by declaring emergency in the country. In such a situation, the country runs practically as a unitary state. During emergencies, the powers of the center considerably grow and the states become weak. Indian political setup is federal in structure and unitary in spirit. On the eve of independence, India faced communal tension and economic backwardness. A strong center was considered essential for economic progress and defense of the country. While the states have been given necessary freedom to work for their progress and development and are largely free to manage their own affairs under the constitutional limits, Provisions have been made to bring them under the control of the center during emergency. The unity and integrity of the nation is sought to be maintained through a single integrated judiciary, uniform laws, and common all India services like IAS and IPS. Indian political setup is federal in structure with a unitary spirit. At the time of independence, a strong center was considered essential for economic progress and defense of the country. So center are given right to manage the states, but national protection lies under the central government. Cabinet system or parliamentary form of government. The Indian Constitution has established a cabinet system of government both at the center and in the states. As in England, the executive here is responsible to the legislature. Though the president is the head of the executive, real powers are vested with the cabinet, which is responsible to the Lok Sabha. The executive here is not all powerful but is responsible to the legislature and is a part of it. Cabinet system or parliamentary form of government. The Constitution of India provides for a parliamentary system of government at the centre as well as in every state. It is modelled on the British pattern of parliamentary form of government. The President of India is the constitutional head of state with nominal powers. The Union Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister constitutes the real executive. Some of the chief features of a parliamentary form of government are: number 1, in a parliamentary form of government, the executive is in constant touch with the legislature. The members of the cabinet or the council of ministers are also members of the parliament. Features of parliamentary form of government. Number 1, cabinet ministers and the council of ministers are essentially the members of the union parliament. Number 2, in a parliamentary form of government, the real powers lie with the prime minister, while the president, as in India, or the king or queen, as in England, is only a nominal head of the state. The real powers lie in the hands of prime minister, whereas president is the nominal head of the state. Again, in a parliamentary form of government, the ministers are responsible to the prime minister as well as to the legislature or the parliament. Seen in the light of the above principles, India has a parliamentary form of government. Here, members of the cabinet as well as the prime minister are members of the parliament. Here, the executive is a part of legislature. Secondly, the president of India is only a constitutional head. Here, the real powers lie with the Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. Thirdly, the ministers are responsible to the Prime Minister as well as to the Parliament, but not to the President. The Council of Ministers is collectively responsible for all its acts before the Lok Sabha. Here, the executive is a part of legislature. Prime Minister is the real head and the President is the nominal head, and the ministers are responsible to the Parliament. Number 4, a secular state. The Indian Constitution has declared India to be a secular state where all the citizens enjoy equal rights irrespective of their caste, color, creed, religion or sex. Anybody in India can practice any religion he or she chooses, and no distinction would ever be made on this account. The state has no religion of its own, and as such no one would either suffer or enjoy special rights on the basis of his or her religion. Everybody is equal before law and enjoys equal rights no matter to whichever faith, caste, color and sex he or she belongs. The Indian Constitution has declared India to be a secular state. There is no such thing as a state religion of India. The Constitution grants the right to religious freedom to all the citizens. It provides for equal rights to all the citizens without any discrimination, rule of law, and special protection to minorities. Number 6, a sovereign means supreme ruler, democratic, relating to democracy, republic. India is not responsible to any foreign power either for its internal policy or for its external affairs. and so it is a sovereign or independent state. Similarly, it is a democratic state because the real power emanates from the people. Likewise, the executive head of India, that is, the president, is not a hereditary ruler like the king or queen of England, but an elected one, and so India has been described as a republic. Thus, the Constitution of India established a sovereign democratic republic in the country. A sovereign democratic republic. India is sovereign state means that India is free internally and externally to take her own decisions and implement these in the whole of India. India is a democratic state. The authority of the government rests upon the sovereignty of the people. India is a republic, which means that India is not ruled by a monarch or a nominated head of a state. India has an elected head of the state who wields power for a fixed term. Since we have discussed till here, learn the basic terms, follow the SNAP homework. Thank you.